Thanks for coming out on this beautiful Saturday, and welcome to the Hopatcong Senior Center. Can everybody hear me? So the Hopatcong Senior Center here is a trail parking area and also an access point to the Lake Hopatcong Trail. My name is Holly Odgers, and I am the Managing Director for the Lake Hopatcong Foundation. Our mission is to improve Lake Hopatcong for all, now and in the years to come, and we are thrilled to celebrate here today with you the opening of the first phase of a 40-mile trail that will eventually encircle Lake Hopatcong. So it took a whole lot of planning and hundreds of hours of staff and volunteer time to get ready for this day, and we're very excited to get that trail map out there and to get people hiking on the trail. So before I introduce our first speaker, I'd like to acknowledge the Lake Hopatcong Foundation Board of Trustees that are here today. We got Marty Kane back there, and I know Rich Romeo is here somewhere, right over here. I didn't see anybody else, so I apologize if I missed anyone. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for all you do. The first leg, or approximately 9 miles of the Lake Hopatcong Trail, was made possible by funding from the Federal Highway Administration's Recreational Trails Program through the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Our first speaker is the State's Trails Coordinator for NJDEP Recreational Trails Program. Please welcome Brandy Chapman.
Yeah, Brandy!
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. On behalf of DEP Commissioner Bob Martin, it gives me great pleasure to be here today. Again, my name is Brandy Chapman, and I work for the Green Acres Program, administering the federally funded Recreational Trails Program. As Heidi said, the Trails Program was the first, the funding agency behind the first phase of the Lake Hopatcong Trail. The Recreational Trails Program provides grants to municipalities, counties, and nonprofit organizations for the creation, maintenance, or restoration of recreational trails in New Jersey. This important program provides us access to our public open spaces by way of trails. Increasing access to our open spaces helps garner appreciation and support for land preservation and stewardship. Since the inception of the program in 1993, the state has been able to award over $17 million in financial assistance to over 870 trail construction and improvement projects just like this one. Recreational trails enhance communities by giving us access to our beautiful preserved places and scenic landscapes with minimal disturbance to the natural world. They provide outdoor classrooms to learn about our natural and cultural world. Trails improve the economy through tourism, connecting to population centers, and providing alternative transportation corridors. And last but certainly not least, trails contribute significantly to the health of residents. For all these reasons and more, trails deserve to be celebrated. I'd like to offer my personal congratulations to the Lake Hopatcong Foundation and all of its partners for the work on the first leg of this important project, and I look forward to meeting all of you on the trail.
So this trail winds through state, municipal, and private lands, including part of Hopatcong State Park. So please join me in welcoming our next speaker, Melissa Castellon, Superintendent of Hopatcong State Park.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Melissa Castellon. I am the Superintendent of Hopatcong State Park. I was very happy and honored to be contacted by the Lake Hopatcong Foundation to find out that they wanted to start their trail at our park and use two of our state lands to incorporate their trails. I'm very excited about the project because it's another wonderful reason to get everybody outside and explore the outdoors. We need that more now. I do appreciate the Lake Hopatcong Foundation's vision of having this trail go around Lake Hopatcong. I think it's a great idea. I'm looking forward to seeing it to the end. And I'm very honored that they're choosing Hopatcong State Park as their beginning. It does go through 2 sections. The first section being Hopatcong State Park, the second being an area we call Cowboy Creek. Very beautiful area. It's about 300 acres, which is in Hopatcong Borough. Some of you might be familiar. Along with the county's assistance and the Lake Hopatcong Foundation, we will be working together to provide access for the trail and some parking from Hopatcong State Park. Just to give you a little bit background as far as access, currently the park is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. during our peak season, swim season, which is Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day. And at those times of the year, you'll be able to get into the park from 8 to 8. There are some fees in place from 8 to 4, and after 4 it is free, just so you're aware. And then off-peak season, we are currently open sunrise to sunset or soon after that. So somewhere around sunrise, it'll be either within 30 minutes of that, it'll be open and shut down at sunset. You will be able to use the park for access at that point. We are still working out some details regarding our summer season because, as you probably very well know, we get very full in the summer weekends, and we're trying to work those details out so people still have access using the gates that are over by the Lakeside Boulevard access point. There are some gates there right now. We're trying to work with those gates to figure out a way to be able to give access to people. So if it's going to be a learning process for us, if anyone has any issues with access, please come to me, let me know so we can work this out. And I want to congratulate the foundation for their work and everything they're doing on this trail. Thank you.
Thank you.
So our next speaker is one incredible trailblazer. She is a foundation volunteer, the chair of the Hopatcong Environmental Commission, and she also managed an additional project of providing signage and completing all the spurs for our first leg of the trail through a separate grant from ANJAC, or the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions. She is tireless and always radiates an amazing positive spirit. Please welcome Jill Gurman.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Well, we're here today because of a vision conceived by the Lake Hopatcong Foundation that one day we would have a trail that circled Lake Hopatcong. Today, we are a quarter of the way there. For the Hopatcong Environmental Commission, that vision was an opportunity to increase access to existing recreational trails and to eventually connect them with those of our neighboring lake communities. We have so many groups and individuals to thank today. First, this could not have happened without the dedication and hard work by members of the Lake Hopatcong Foundation, especially the two people who brought us here today, Donna McHale-Holly and Holly Odgers. It was Donna's expertise in grant writing that secured grants to fund this initial phase of the trail, and with Holly's help and their hard work, they put those grants into action. Next on the scene was Cliff London, Recreational Trails Chair for the Foundation. Most of you are familiar with Cliff's knowledge of the history of the lake and Hopatcong, which was a valuable resource for planning and approvals that were needed. Cliff also had a vision. His vision was to add spur trails that would access the Lake Hopatcong Trail from various residential sections of the borough to provide convenient hiking for residents who prefer hiking close to home and shorter distances. About this time, the EC came on board. That's the Environmental Commission. We were awarded a grant from the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions, ANJAC as we call it, to do signage and blazing of the spur trails here in Hopatcong. Today we have Dave Pfeiffer here from ANJAC to celebrate with us. Dave, would you raise your hand? There we are. Okay. Our sincere thanks to ANJAC for their funding and support. Next, upon hearing of our receipt of the ANJAC grant, Matthew Karpiak, a scout member of Troop 88, approached the EC about taking on spur trail signage and blazing as his Eagle Scout project. Matthew did a great job on his project, and with the assistance of other scouts whom he directed, they built and installed 13 parking signs and access signs, and cleared and blazed spurs from trailhead to main trail. Matthew is here today. Matthew, where are you? There you go. Yay! Thank you, and thanks to those who helped you with this project. You know, job well done. I'd also like to note that going forward, we hope to have the Hopatcong Scouts, both boys and girls, take over maintenance of the trails and spurs. As you can see, they are here today with us for the ribbon cutting. Hey, Scouts, where are you? And where would we be without the help of our wonderfully dedicated volunteers who work so diligently to clear and blaze the trails? What a job they did. I'm sure some of you have seen the pictures of them nailing up blazes, cutting trees, breaking up rocks with sledgehammers, raking, weed whacking, and even chainsawing. All done on Saturdays or on their days off. We are so grateful. We can't thank you enough. Please raise your hands. If you are a volunteer, thank you, thank you, thank you for all your hard work. Lastly, I would like to thank Ron Jovelis at the DPW for his support and generosity of time and materials. I don't think Ron's here today, but I'd also like to thank Tony Cutella at Custom Sign Source for his dedication to scouting and for teaching us how to make a perfect sign. I apologize if I've missed anyone. There were so many generous people who worked with us. It's hard to thank you all individually, but we are most grateful that you helped us bring us to this day. And now I'm pleased to introduce our mayor, Mike Francis, who will like to say a few words. Mayor.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Mike Francis, and I'm the mayor of Hopatcong. As you've heard everybody say, the development of these trails is so critically important, and it really started quite a while ago, thanks to Cliff London. This goes back to the early to mid 70s, I believe, but Cliff knows the history of that. But one of the key words you hear is vision, and what makes Hopatcong so proud is that when we have a vision, such as the trail, all the people get together, the Lake Foundation, the DEP, the volunteers, the scouts, and we make that vision materialize. Maybe not overnight, but eventually it will. So it's a lot of hard work, and I cannot stress the appreciation that I have for all the people that put the sweat equity into something that's so beautiful. So enjoy the trail. Thank you on this wonderful day, and we appreciate you coming. Thank you.
And now we have, we're going to hear from Cliff London, who is the chairman of the Lake Hopatcong Foundation Recreational Trails.
Thank you, Jill. The Herald changed my name yesterday to Cliff Leonard, so you can call me Leonard. You know, this is remarkable. This is absolutely amazing to see this many people here for the opening of this trail. Yeah. And this is in fact what I call a legacy project. This is one of the reasons why it shows how much we all love that big, beautiful body of water out there. And when in 1972, Roland Eves and the Environmental Commission, we actually existed back then, the very first commission, came up with the idea for a green belt surrounding the developed area of Hopatcong. And this has been 45 years in the making to do this. And it's only the beginning, okay? And this is a cooperative effort that involves every part of this community, as the mayor said, and every part of the Lake Hopatcong community. And it's not only on public lands, it's on private lands. And the private landowners gave us permission. So, you know, some of this we thank the Board of Education of Hopatcong, the town of Hopatcong, Weldon Minerals, Hudson Farm, all of which gave us permission to go onto their property. We also enlisted the help of the Land Conservancy of New Jersey and the New York-New Jersey Trails Conference. And when you talk about trails and the environment, they don't recognize municipal boundaries. You know, the environment doesn't know where one town starts or ends, so why should a trail? So in fact, this trail will ultimately connect into the 4 Lake Hopatcong communities, Byram and Stanhope, and ultimately we want to connect into the Ogden Mine Railroad Trail, the Morris County Trail, and the Morris County Trail Network, because connections is what makes it happen. On your tax bills, most of you who pay property taxes, there's a little line called the open space tax. it's about the cost of a meal at McDonald's. Well, this is a result of that effort. This shows you what the bang that you're getting for your dollars. And this fall, for those of you who are in Sussex County, there's a referendum on the ballot that will expand the purposes of the trail, of the Open Space Fund, to include grants to municipalities to do trails like this. So I hope you go out and vote yes for it. This trail could not be possible without all the volunteers. The Environmental Commission, particularly on those spurs. And the spurs are important because it connects every neighborhood of Hopatcong to nature and to this trail. And so it's really just a remarkable event, a legacy project. We're going to make this happen. We're going to get around the 4 towns. And you know, a year and a half ago when or 2 years ago when the foundation got us together, we sat down with the 4 towns, and every one of them have been working independently. Yet, when you map that open space with very few missing links, we had the ability to get around Lake Hopatcong and preserve and feature this beautiful lake. So with that, I will bring on Donna, who is the executive director, and I know you want to get out on the trail. We're only going to do a small section today, very small. We would encourage you to go on your own. Oh, and by way of history, we not only connect nature, we connect history. How many of you know that the idea for the Appalachian Trail started in Hopatcong in the 1920s? Okay, very good. The word's getting out there. The whole idea for the Appalachian Trail started in Hopatcong in the 20s. We are also taking part of our trail along the Morris Canal feeder canal. This site, okay, 100 years ago next year, was opened as a public golf course, the second public golf course in the state of New Jersey. That was a barn on what was called the Brown Farm. That building became the clubhouse. That hillside was called Cardiac Hill. It still is, right? You'll find it out when you go on the trail. 47 years ago, that trail, that hillside had not one tree on it. All those trees is what nature can do in 47 years. Okay? In 1973, our mayor at that time, who will remain anonymous, wanted to approve a plan for 1,000 units of garden apartments on this tract. And that's finally when the people of Hopatcong said, no, enough is enough. They did a hostile takeover of the town government and basically said, let us preserve nature. That's what brought about the environmental movement in Hopatcong. So this site is the start of it. It's historic, and just enjoy it today. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, as Cliff said, I'm Donna McCallie-Holly, the acting executive director for the Lake Hopatcong Foundation. Before I begin my remarks, I just would like to acknowledge some guests in the audience today. We have with us Sussex County Freeholder Sylvia Patillo, Morris County Freeholder Kathy DiFilippo. We also have with us Mayor Francis, we met earlier. Thank you, Mayor, for speaking. We also have with us Roxbury Mayor Mark Crowley. And we have Councilman from Roxbury, Bob DiFilippo, as well. Did I miss? I think that was it. So thank you all. I'd like to thank our speakers that have, joined us here today to celebrate, and thank all of you for being here. Everyone talked about the trail, and Cliff talked about, the access points here, and you can see here on the trail map. The trail map will be available after today online. We're also going to tell you if you would like to download an app for your phone, your mobile phone, you can. It's an Avenza app, so when you're out there on the trail, you can actually walk along on the app and see where you are on the trail. So 9 miles, that's what they tell us. For those of us that have been out there doing the trail, we feel that it's a lot longer than 9 miles. So when we actually get out there and walk it, we'll tell, from one end to another, we'll tell you how many miles it is, but I believe it's longer than 9 miles. And you can see on the map that we have we go along the Highlands Trail, that's indicated in the purple dots, and then the spurs, as Cliff said, to give people access from all throughout the town, as well as public access in different areas, is noted in different colors. Cliff acknowledged all those folks that, we have it on private property, such as Hudson Farm and Weldon quarries and residential properties. And we ask that when you're out there on the trail in those areas to please stay on the trail. It's very important because we have access. In the cases of like Hudson Farm, you don't want to be wandering through Hudson Farm other than being on the trail for your own safety. The trail is really beautiful. I mean, I'm from the Lake Hopatcong side in Jefferson Township, so I've never been in the woods here, and I really know them a lot better now, thanks to Cliff and Jewel. But there really are some beautiful, beautiful sections. So I encourage all of you that are here today to take the time to get out there, spend some time with nature. And by all of you going out there and enjoying this trail, you know what you'll also be doing? You'll be maintaining it. Because when you walk on that trail, it's going to keep the trail paths open for other people. And speaking of maintenance, we do have here, Jewel mentioned that the scouts are going to help us with the trail maintenance, but since it's 9 miles, we are going to need volunteers to help us maintaining it. So we have sign up here if you're interested in maintaining a section. We're also going to have this form on our website, and you can maintain as much as you like, as little or as much as you like, but we really do need people to help us out with the maintenance. And it's really not that hard, the maintenance, and I got to tell you, Linda, you could speak for it. When you see a section of the trail after you created it or maintained it, it really is a good feeling. You're like, wow, we did all this ourselves. I encourage everyone to try to help us maintain it. I also want to thank Cliff and Jewel and Holly and Linda Karpiak as well, and Matt, because this really took a village, and all the volunteers we already thanked. I mean, so just to give you an indication, we had over 440 volunteer hours just for what the foundation kept track of. That's not what the Environmental Commission did or through the Eagle Scout project, and that is valued at $12,000. So all of you donating, where's Brandy for the DEP? That goes towards our match. That goes towards our match for the trail grant. So volunteering is a win-win for everybody. I also would like to take this moment to introduce Laura and Chris D'Amico. Are you in the audience? Here we go. They're here with us today because as part of the trail, we've incorporated another piece into the trail with the Kindness for Christopher campaign. The Kindness for Christopher campaign is a program that was started for their 10-year-old son, Christopher, so the Kindness for Christopher campaign is for Christopher lost his life in a boating accident in Lake Hopatcong, and the Kindness for Christopher community was created in an effort to keep his memory alive and inspire people to spread kindness and laughter in Christopher's memory. So one of our volunteers, Dawn, had suggested that we get into a painting rock program. And so we're going to do that as part of the Kindness for Christopher with the program that they already have. So Jen DeWitt, our development director, she painted this as a sample. And then we had folks paint some rocks, and children paint rocks, and they're along the trail. So when you're walking the trail, what we ask you to do is if you see one of these rocks, and you'll know it because it has hashtag Kindness for Christopher, and it also has hashtag LH Trail on it. Take a picture of it, post it on social media using those hashtags. Pick the rock up, move it to a different location. If you want to paint your own rock with an inspirational message for other people to find, this one here says, "Believe in your dreams," very inspirational. This one says, "Yes to new adventures." We want to keep this campaign going and spread kindness for Christopher.
And there's never a shortage of rocks in the back.
There's a lot of rocks. So, please be sure to, get involved, and you'll see some very cute rocks out there. And, we're going to continue that tomorrow at Hopatcong State Park. For those of you that may not know, we have our lake loop, which is the lake. which is a fundraiser for the Lake Hopatcong Foundation. This year it's going to be one of our biggest fundraisers, so we encourage you, if you're not involved in that, you can still come tomorrow to register. You can bike, you can walk, you can run, or you can kayak. It will be starting at the park. Registration starts at 7 and it will go to about 3. So please come out and support us. And we're also going to have a table there for you to paint some rocks. So that concludes my remarks for today. What we're going to do now is, I'd like how many people here have worked on the trail as a volunteer? Okay, so I'd like all of you guys to kind of lead the way down to the trailhead. We're going to walk just right along the road down there, and then we're going to take a few pictures, and then we're going to cut the ribbon, and then Cliff will lead us on a hike up the hill. All right, thank you all so much for coming.
Right now, the leaves are on the trees. There are some really great views of Lake Hopatcong, but when the leaves are out, you don't always see them. So I would encourage you to come out here in the fall, in the winter, in the spring. You see a total different view in every season, just like on the lake.
Everybody, did you get a picture?
We got all the pictures?
So if you guys want to hold your loppers like you're gonna hold on. Pause. All right, everybody smile. Cliff, you can put your
I can put my thing
down there. Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's get a couple of pictures. Everybody smile. Ready, Karen? I'm good.
Right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. The Lake Hopatcong Trail is now officially open.